assures of his administration's commitment to development and application of science, technology, and innovation.
Without great research and development, no nation can develop.
Senate urges federal government to review Nigeria's power policy, including privatization of the sector.
Public funds have actually been used to bail out private people, and the country is still in the dark.
House of Representatives requests security agencies to secure release of 300 persons abducted by terrorists in Gambarungala.
Siege time saves 9. Let us start now to work hard to make sure they don't take them too far before bringing them back becomes difficult.
And on Good Morning Nigeria today, we shall focus on investing in women for national development.
Let me begin by quoting Albert Einstein, the famous scientist, who said of Mahatma Gandhi, "Generations to come will scarcely believe that such a one as this walked the earth in flesh and blood," and most respectfully apply same to the late Nelson Madiba Mandela. But some would wonder why Mandela on International Women's Day. Patience.
Victor, you're a philosopher this morning, but you know it's International Women's Day, and like Victor said, patience is a virtue. The late Madiba was a man of so many parts whose life on earth inspired and will continue to inspire generations to come. Nelson Mandela never ceased to appreciate the influence and support of his first wife, Winnie, through the turbulent part of his life's journey, despite their controversial separation.
Absolutely, Henry. Mandela held women in very, very high esteem. A women's website known as Apana compiled some incredible quotes from Mandela's book, The Long Walk to Freedom, depicting how highly Mandela held women.
So I should ask you, Victor, do you hold women highly too?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll put that to test. You know, the book, like Victor mentioned, captures what Mandela feels should be the role of women in nation building. For instance, he said, "For every woman and girl violently attacked, we reduce our humanity. For every woman forced into unprotected sex, because men demand it, we destroy dignity and pride. And for every moment we remain silent, we conspire against our women. Freedom cannot be achieved unless the women have been emancipated from all forms of oppression."
Well said. Another interesting part of the quotes prescribes responsibilities for lawmakers and the women themselves. He said, quote, "As a tribute to the legion of women who navigated the path of fighting for justice before us, we ought to imprint in the supreme law of the land firm principles upholding the rights of women. Now, the women themselves and the whole society must make this a prime responsibility." What more can I say?
Well, while we accept that women have made giant strides in taking up responsibilities beyond the shores of their natural calling, there are still gaps. Yes, and many have come under violent attacks, sexual abuse, rape, and exclusion in some aspects of governance.
Well, back home, there has been increased advocacy by international organizations, women groups, and civil society for more women gender inclusion in nation building. So, as we commemorate this year's International Women's Day, which is today, March the 8th, we focus attention on how they are faring in Nigeria. I am Victor, as welcome to the program.
So you should begin by asking me how I'm faring this morning and if I have any need that you can meet.
Patience.
Okay. I'm Henry John. Good morning. Nigeria is broadcast live from Abuja on the network service of the NTA, which will have our usual complimentary segment in the course of the program, which is the newspaper review. But for now, we have a beautiful woman also celebrating International Women's Day, Ogo Chukwuka Ona, with us. Ogo, good morning to you and happy Women's Day.
Thank you, Ian Ray, and also to all the women all over the world, and of course to you, Victor, in association, right? Happy Women's Day in association. All right, thank you for joining us on the morning news. President Bola Tinubu says his administration will remain committed to the development and application of science, technology, and innovation in the quest to ensure greater overall development of Nigeria. The president made the commitment at his investiture as a grand patron of science by the Nigerian Academy of Science at the State House.
I believe without great research and development, no nation can develop to achieve its desire. Pay attention to science and development is a commitment that I will continue to support.
In the meantime, President Bola Tinubu has described Nigerian women as the pivots of the nation. The president made a statement on the occasion of this year's International Women's Day, acknowledging the role of women in nation building, emphasizing that without doubt, Nigerian women are elemental to the development, growth, and greatness of the nation. The president affirms that in every discipline and field of human endeavor, the standout achievements of Nigerian women have become a testament to the resilience, strength, courage, and ingenuity of all women across the world, as well as a mark of their exceptional quality as emissaries of hope and possibilities. President Tinubu notes that the theme of this year's International Women's Day, Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress, fits well within his administration's policy initiatives on educating and empowering women. He states that his administration is focusing on providing investments in educating the girl child while fostering inclusive programs and initiatives that bolster their active roles in the areas of knowledge, science, technology, research, and innovation into the future. The federal government has inaugurated the Committee on the Implementation of the Recommendations on the Review of Reports and White Papers on Restructuring and Rationalization of Federal Government Parastatals, Agencies and Commissions. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, while inaugurating the committee on behalf of President Bola Tinubu, stressed that the implementation of the White Papers on which the reports, which would involve the merger, relocation, subsuming, or scrapping of some parastatals, agencies and commissions, is aimed at reducing costs of governance and streamlining efficiency across the governance value chain. President Tinubu's approval for the implementation of the Oron-Shaye report is coming 12 years after the panel submitted its report and multiple attempts made at implementing its recommendations. Members of the committee are Senator George Akume, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Lateef Olasunkanmi Fagbemi, Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Senator Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Folashade Yemi-Eson, Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Usman Hadiza Bala, Special Advisor to the President, Policy and Coordination, Dasuki Ibrahim Arabi, Director General, Bureau of Public Service Reform, Senator Abdullahi Abubakar Gumel, Senior Special Assistant to the President on National Assembly Matters, Senate, Ibrahim Kunle Olarewaju, Senior Special Assistant to the President on National Assembly, House of Representatives, and Hakeem Muri Okunola, Principal Secretary to the President, and Richard Filangwa, Permanent Secretary, Cabinet Affairs Office. The SGF outlined the general guidelines of the committee to include review, current mandates to understand the existing functions, responsibilities and objectives outlined in the mandates of the agencies, identify redundancies and overlaps or conflicting objectives among the mandates of different organizational units, define strategic objectives to ensure the revised mandates align with the strategic objectives and priorities of the government, among others. And now the National Economic Council Subcommittee on Oil Theft, Control and Management has vowed to be thorough in its reports as a first step measure in ending the incessant crude oil sabotage and dwindling fortunes of exports. Chairman of the committee and Governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, says it has conducted extensive findings and consultations that will guide them in delivering the national assignment for the prosperity of the oil sector.
It is our hope that at the end of this assignment, we will put together a report that will be very bold and courageous, that will be useful to NEC, and if implemented, will stop this monster called crude oil theft.
Now, one way to grow Nigeria's industrial capacity and tackle the challenge of unemployment is ensuring self-sufficient power supply. This view was promoted by lawmakers during plenary when Senator Ned Nwoko raised a motion in relation to supply of electricity by an independent power plant to its host community in Delta State.
We can't move an inch to industrialization if we don't have that. It's something that we should continue to debate until we get it right there.
If you go into the details, Mr. President, you will find that in the name of private sector ejection or participation in this system, public funds have actually been used to bail out private people, and the country is still in the dark.
And now the House of Representatives has requested the nation's security forces to go the extra mile to rescue about 300 persons, including women and children, reportedly abducted by terrorists last Sunday in Gabaru, Ngala local government area of Borno State. This follows a motion of urgent public importance raised by Representative Zainab Gimba from Borno State, who informed the House that most of the victims were abducted around IDP camps in the area.
3 girls escaped from the den of the insurgents, reported that they were taken to a bush close to Bunkar Mairam village along the shores of the Lake Chad.
Let us start now to work hard to make sure they don't take them too far before bringing them back becomes difficult.
And those are the news highlights for now. Good Morning Nigeria continues with Victor and ERA after this break. I am Ogochukwu Kaona. Good morning.